Ratios, rates, unit rates. We're going to talk about all this stuff today. For a time, the Boston Symphony Orchestra was made up of 95 musicians. We are going to talk about ratios. Ratios will look a lot like fractions. We use them a little bit differently. Let's look at this. The number of violins to basses, I would say, is 29 to 9. The number of violins to basses, 29 to 9. That's how you say a ratio. If I looked around this classroom, I would say the number of girls to boys is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 girls to 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have an 8 to 4 ratio of girls to boys in this classroom. Do you follow? So if I asked you, what was the number of trumpets to cellos? What would you say? 3 to 10. Why not 10 to 3? I said trumpets first. Order matters. Make sure you go order matters. And here's the other thing. What I just did, trumpets to cellos, meaning part of this whole thing versus part of this whole thing. If I said what was the number of trumpets to the orchestra, what would you say? To what? Three to 95. And that would be considered part to whole. That means when we're talking about part to the whole thing. Okay? Before, when I did trumpets to cellos, I did part to part. Do you see? Okay. Ratios can be written in a couple different ways. In fact, 3 different ways. One looks like a fraction, 29 to 12. Or it can be written 29, 9, the word 2, 12. Or it can be written 29 and the little colon thing and 12. That's the 3 ways to write ratios. And it is read 29 to 12. Or something to something. Okay? Remember, order is important. If I asked you this question, the number of cats to rabbits. Marissa? 5 to 2. Remember, order matters. 5 to 2. Is that a part to whole, a whole to part, or a part to part? Part to part, because I'm talking about part of this to part of this, not part to the whole thing. It's part to part, 5 to 2. Number of dogs to the total number of pets. Jonathan. Seven to 14. The number of dogs is 7. The total number of pets is 14. So it's 7 to 14. Now, is that part to part to whole, whole to part? Part to whole, because we're talking about part of it with the dogs and the whole thing. So it's part to whole. Total number of pets to cats. Karina. Order matters. What does it say first? 14 to 5. We have to say the total number because it says total number of pets to cats. So total number of pets is 14. Cats is 5. What? Because it asks total number of pets to cats. That's Why does order matter? Why is purple called purple? Don't know. It is. Okay? That's the rule for ratios. Order matters. Okay? Part to part, part to whole, whole to part. Whole, because it asks for the whole thing, to part. Whole to part. Birds to the total number of pets. Got to do some math. Kevin. 6 to 18. What is it? Part to whole, whole to part. Part to whole. All right. We're going to move on. Yeah, I know. It's really easy. Yeah. Equivalent ratios and equivalent fractions, same kind of deal. Okay? They work the same. Remember, equivalent fractions, really easy thing to deal with, right? If we had, let's say we had an equivalent fraction, let's say we had a fraction of 3/5. Give me an equivalent fraction to 3/5. 6/10. All you did is multiply top and bottom by 2. So times 2 times 2. Give me another one. 18/30. Okay. So what you could have done there is multiply this by 6. So times 6 times 6, and we end up with 18/30. And so on. As long as you multiply top and bottom by the same number, it's equivalent. Well, equivalent ratios are the same deal. If you look at this, it says write 3 equivalent ratios to compare the number of diamonds to the number of spades in the pattern. First of all, what is our original ratio? The number of diamonds to the number of spades. Lauren. 3 to 6. So I'd write it like this, 3 to 6. Or I could write it 3 to 6. Or I could write it this way, 3 to 6. It's all the same. Well, give me an equivalent ratio. 6 to 12. So I could do this. I could go times 2 here, times 2 here, and I end up with 6/12. What else? It isn't a fraction. Say it right. No. 1 to 2. You have to say the word 2. 1 to 2. Okay? And look at that. We break it up into 3 equal parts too, by the way. We got another fraction. So 3 to 6 also equals 1 to 2. This is a divide by 3. This is a divide by 3. Be careful. It isn't 1/2. It's 1 to 2. If we are talking about ratios, you have to say the word 2 in between them. Okay? Another one. Give me the original ratio. Cesar. It says write 3 equivalent ratios to compare the number of triangles to the number of hearts in the pattern. How many triangles do you count? Okay, how many hearts do you count? 9. So it's 3 to 9. Give me an equivalent ratio, Cesar. It's just like equivalent fractions. Multiply top and bottom by something. Anything. Sure. Times 2. Times 2. 6 to 18. Give me another one. Give me another one. 1 to 3. What? Sure. 12 to 36. It's just like the fractions. Multiply top and bottom by the same number, okay? That's equivalent. So now we've talked about how to find a ratio. We've talked about equivalent ratios. The next thing I want to talk about is rates. Rates are a little bit different, but rates are very important to us. We want to know a couple things. It says a rate compares two quantities that have different units of measure. Suppose a 2-liter bottle of soda costs $1.98. We want to find what the rate is, meaning we want to find out how much does one of those things cost, 1 liter. Well, in order to find it, it's called unit rate. In order to find unit rate, we need to do this. Unit rate equals the total cost, and I'm going to say TC, divided by the number of units. So for this problem, a 2-liter bottle of soda costs $1.98. We want to know how much does 1 liter cost, so we can compare them and put them in the same unit. So here's what we do. The total cost is $1.98 divided by 2, because we have 2 of them. Well, 2 goes into 19 how many times? 9. Put our little dot up there right away. 99. So the unit rate, this thing costs, and listen to this carefully, 99 cents per liter. That's how that works. Let's say I go down to the gas station over here. I want to buy a 12-pack of Mountain Dew. So I buy myself a 12-pack of Mountain Dew. Let's say the 12-pack costs $6. What's my unit rate? And how do I figure it out? How do I figure it out?
The total cost divided by 12.
What is the total cost? So $6 divided by 12. Well, how many times does 12? We got to put a little dot up there, straight up. How many times does 12 go into 60? 5. What's my unit rate? Per 50 cents per can. Why, you might ask, why do we need to do this? What's the point? All right. Here's the point. You go to the grocery store. You go to the grocery store, you're walking down the aisle. Oh, your wife says, don't forget to pick up some soda. All right? So I'm going down the thing, and then I'm standing there, and I'm looking at the soda, and we have 2 different things of soda. We got 2 different things of Mountain Dew, okay? Mountain Dew. I've got a 24 pack. I could buy a 24 pack of Mountain Dew, costs $7.95. Or right next to it, they got those 20 packs that look just like 24 packs. So, or I could buy the 20 pack for $6.75. Which one do I buy? Are they the same? They might not be. How do I know what the better deal is? I have to figure out the rate. I got to figure out how much it costs per can. So then you guys pull out your handy phones, because I know all of you, when you go grocery shopping, you're going to have your phone with you. You pull out your phone, you hit the calculator button, and you do this. And you go unit rate. You go $7.95 divided by 24. Anybody got a calculator with them? Here, you're in charge. Wait, first of all, before we do this, raise your hand if you say buy the 24 pack. Okay, raise your hand if you say buy the 20 pack. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I want to know what it is. It's like 0.33. Is it just 33 cents? Okay. You rounded. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so then we have, for the other one, we have, for the 20 pack, we have $6.75 divided by 20. Is that right? Are you sure? 34. Hey, stop. Stop. Now. Could you tell that by looking at it? You can't. But most of you in this room would have paid 34 cents a can just by looking at it, because it looks like it looks like it's less money. And that's fine. If you don't want the extra 4 cans, no big deal. Whatever. Okay? And some of you think a penny. Yeah, no big deal. A penny. Okay? But how many cans of Mountain Dew do you think they sell in a day? A lot. They sell a lot of cans of Mountain Dew. That penny makes a big difference overall. You add all those pennies up. Let's say they sell 1 million. Let's say they sell 1 million cans. How much is 1 million pennies? I don't remember. Okay. This is why unit rate is important. We got to know which one. To be a good shopper, you have to be able to do this. You have to be able to find out which is my better deal. Yes, in this case, the 24 pack or the bigger amount, you got a price break. That isn't always the case. Be careful. Be careful, because sometimes at the store they'll trick you. They'll trick you, and they'll do that, and then they'll do this. All they'll do is they'll leave this the same, and they'll write on sale. $6.75. Oh my God, $6.75. That's a good deal. It says it's on sale. Look at this 24 pack. That thing's at $7.95. That's almost $8. That thing's so expensive. This one's only like $6. That's what we do. those guys play tricks with us, and they do. You have to be smarter than that. All right? So, tell me. The next thing, it says 3-pack of paper towels costs $2.79. A 6-pack of paper towels costs $5.46. Which is the better deal? Well, how do we figure this out? Well, we go $2.79 divided by 3, because this is the one we're working with right now. Okay? That goes in there 9 times. Minus 27 is 0. Bring down 9. So that's going to be 93 cents. So for the 6-pack, though, we go $5.46. We go total cost divided by the number that we have. That's 9 minus 54 is 0. Bring down the 6, 91 cents. So what's the better deal? The 6-pack of paper towels is the better deal. Don't forget, unit rate is the total cost divided by the number of units that you have. You might want to write that down on the top of your assignment so that you don't forget how to do it. Your assignment, by the way, is page 354, 6 to 28 even, and then page 32 to 40 even. Okay?